What's up guys, Chris here. Don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the notification bell to get more videos like this. And today I want to talk to you about Keith Urban's High and Alive tour. I have seen Keith before in concert, and I gotta say, this time that I saw him, it just felt a lot different. So it was a rainy Tuesday night here in Melbourne, and I headed out to Rod Laver Arena to check out Keith Urban. There was a good mix of different people at the concert. A lot of people were country fans, as you could see, and everyone was looking forward to having a good night of live music. I got there just before the opening act, Chase Matthew, and the lights started to dim and they were getting ready to come on. And I got to admit, when Chase took the stage, it completely blew me away. I had no idea who this guy was, and I thought, okay, country singer, Nashville, whatever, right? But the one thing that stood out for me with Chase was his backing band were just so tight and so good. They had this tight rock band kind of feel to it. Chase's music was awesome, but also one of the things he did really well was he did this medley of the song Back in Black by AC/DC, Give It Away by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and also You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC as well. I don't know if he just did some research about what music Australians like and he sort of put that together in a bit of a medley, but it worked really well and it sounded amazing. So there was a 20 to 30 minute changeover. Everyone was pumped for Keith to come out, and I can't remember if he did this before, but he had this curtain which would drop right at the beginning, and the curtain dropped and he kicked right into the song Straight Line off the High album. He then kicked into the song Where the Blacktop Ends, which is off his debut solo album, and it gave it that old school Keith Urban vibe. And one thing you started to notice during the second song, I started to notice how much more organic the sound was than last time I heard Keith. The whole band, it was all organic instruments. It just sounded a lot more brought back from his more modern sound that he's been going for recently. It was more back to this more organic sound, you know, real drums, real bass, real guitar. It was all being played right in front of you, and it felt real and it felt great. So after the second song, Keith had a bit of a break and he started talking to the crowd, and he did his signature thing where he actually goes down and speaks a bit more closer to the people that have come to see him up in the front row, started taking some selfies, doing a little bit of chit chat to the crowd. Keith's really good at that. He's great at he's just this honest Aussie bloke. He's just talking to the crowd. He must feel this maybe sense of relief when he comes back to Australia to perform, because he seems really relaxed, just really chilled out. And it was a great part of the concert, just showed he's an all-round entertainer. He then played the song Long Hot Summer, which is an absolute classic. He then moved on to the song Messed Up As Me, Parallel Line, and then onto the song Better Life. It started to become clear at this point that the set list that he was picking was absolutely full of hits. It didn't feel like he was trying to push any particular album. He was just picking the greatest songs, and it was really great to hear. He then moved on to the song You Look Good in My Shirt, and that song, traditionally, he's always just kind of had a lot of fun with that song. You can see on the stage, he's just messing around with the band, he's having a whole lot of fun. It's this cool bluesy riff, it's an awesome song. He then moved on to the Angels song, Am I Ever Gonna See Your Face Again, in which the crowd responded accordingly to that song. And then onto the song Somewhere in My Car and the song Cop Car. And supporting that organic sound are the band members on tour with Keith, and I've got to say, they sounded amazing. You've got a guy by the name of Jimmy Paxton on drums, you've got Gabby Louise on fiddle, she was amazing, Josh Kearney on guitars and banjo, Kevin McIntyre on bass and backing vocals, and you've got Katie O, who's supporting Keith on guitar and backing vocals too. They then moved on to one of his most popular all-time songs, Days Go By, and the crowd just went absolutely ballistic on that one. At that point of the concert, there'd been so many hits and so much energy going around, they've dropped the energy a little bit with this song Till Summer Comes Around. And then onto the song Heart Like a Hometown. But Keith's just got this energy, he knows how to play these slower songs and just give it so much feel that people can't help but continue to watch. He then brought the energy back with the song Kiss a Girl, and he actually mashed it together with the song Who Wouldn't Want to Be Me. It was good to see Keith playing a lot of his old school classic songs and just really doing them justice. They then moved on to the song The Fighter with backing vocals from Katie O, and she did an amazing job there. And onto the absolute classic Somebody Like You. And it was then onto the song One Too Many, which he did with Pink, and he had Pink on the screens there singing along with him to the song. And it was during the ending of that song that Keith did his famous walk through the crowd, where he goes up to the back of the stadium, basically sets up in front of the back row of the stadium and plays a lot more acoustic numbers. On his way down there though, everyone was trying to catch a glimpse of Keith, get a photo, touch his hair or whatever, you know, as he was walking towards the back of the stadium. From my seat, I was able to capture him a little bit on the camera there. So from there, he started his more acoustic set. He started with a cover of the song Pink Pony Club by Chapel Roan, and then onto You'll Think of Me and Blue Ain't Your Colour. And it was then back to the main stage where he kicked off with Wasted Time, Burn For You, which was a John Farnham cover, Making Memories of Us, the song Jeans On, which is a David Dundas cover, Tonight I Want to Cry, and he finished off with the song You Get What You Give by the New Radicals. So when you look back at the concert and you have a look at how many songs he played off what album, you can see there that he played 6 covers. He actually played 3 off the album B here, 3 off the album Golden Road, 3 off the album High, which you would think so, obviously being the newer album, 3 off the album Ripcord, 2 off Fuse, 1 off Defying Gravity, and 1 off a few of the other albums. So he covers a lot of albums there, but every song was just a great song. There wasn't really any fillers in there. I mean, there was some moments there where he slowed the pace down with a bit more of a slower song. But they're all good songs. There wasn't really anything that I didn't know or that was more kind of experimental. They were all classic, really good songs. And it was just an overall good, positive vibe. You know, the band he was playing with were tight, positive energy. It was really great. I think the set list, just the choice of mashups, the choice of covers, and the choice of going down to the back of the stadium and stopping, and just the dynamics of the concert were all really well put together. And you've got to give it to the backing band too. They're a really tight unit. You know, Gabby Louise on the fiddle. There were so many little moments there which Gabby would shine on a particular song. And Katie O as well, the guitarist who's helping Keith out with the vocals. She did an amazing job on the song The Fighter, where she sang Carrie Underwood's original parts. You know, did amazing there. So overall, I gotta say, I was really surprised with what I saw and what I heard as part of that concert. The band was tight. I think Keith was trying to keep it organic, and he did really, really well there. Every song was a hit. Really interesting that Keith has a lot more covers in his set list as well than he probably needs to have in there. Really good choice by Keith there, I think. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Were you at the concert? Have you seen Keith live as part of this tour? Or have you seen Keith live as part of any tour? Let me know some of your favorite Keith Urban moments. Let's start the conversation, and we'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.